It begins on a cold autumn night when moonlight creeps through the cracks in a wooden workshop. Outside, the wind whispers through the pines, carrying with it faint voices from another time. Inside, a lone woodcarver stands at his bench, a block of dark, weathered cedar before him. His hands tremble ever so slightly as he traces the outline of a skull-like totem he intends to carve. For weeks, he has been plagued by dreams of an ancient face with hollow eyes and fanged patterns, a design he cannot shake from his mind. And now, tonight, he feels compelled to bring it into the world. As he sharpens his chisel, the candlelight flickers and shadows dance across the walls. He thinks he hears a whisper just behind his ear, a voice that is not his own. He dismisses it as the wind. His grandmother's tales of cursed carvings and spirits trapped in wood echo in his memory. Yet curiosity has always been his downfall. He sets the chisel against the wood. The first chips fall to the floor with a soft hiss, like a snake in dry leaves. Unbeknownst to him, the very act of carving awakens something that has slept for centuries. Long ago, before the memory of any living soul, there was a tribe that lived in a valley hidden between mountains. They carved totems not just as art, but as vessels for spirits, guardians, and demons alike. One particular totem, carved from a tree struck by lightning, was made to bind a vengeful spirit. Its top was crowned with a carved skull, its teeth bared, its eyes hollow. Intricate patterns of claws and fangs wound down its length. Elders said it was created to seal a malevolent force that had brought famine and disease upon their people. With chants and blood offerings, they trapped the spirit within the totem and buried it deep in the earth, warning that no hands should ever carve its likeness again. Centuries passed. The valley grew over with forest. The tribe vanished, their stories carried on by whispers in the wind. Yet the legend of the cursed totem lived on, a cautionary tale told by hearth signs. And now, the woodcarver's chisel unknowingly traces the same lines and symbols, recreating the prison that once held a vengeful soul. Each groove he carves echoes an ancient chant. The air grows cold. The candle flame stretches as if pulled by an unseen breath. Outside, the wind drops to a deafening silence. He notices none of this. He is lost in the rhythm of carving, entranced by a pattern he feels he has always known. Hour after hour passes. The skull emerges, a smooth, rounded brow, deep sockets, a row of teeth carved with uncanny precision. The lower half comes to life with swirling geometric patterns, reminiscent of fangs, talons, and serpents coiling around each other. He wonders how he learned such designs. The patterns seem to guide his hand. He works through the night until the first light of dawn filters through his workshop window. Exhausted yet exhilarated, he steps back to admire his creation. The totem stands upright on his bench, its carved skull gleaming pale in the morning light. For a moment, he thinks its hollow eyes are watching him. He laughs at himself and goes to make tea. That day, strange things begin to happen. Animals will not approach the workshop. The neighbor's dog growls and whines at the door. In the afternoon, a cold shadow falls over the house, though the sun is bright. Visitors complain of feeling uneasy, as if someone unseen is standing behind them. The woodcarver brushes it off. It's just a piece of wood, he tells himself. But as night falls and he extinguishes the lamps, he hears it again. The whisper, "Release me." He freezes, heart pounding. The voice seems to come from the carved skull itself. He turns slowly. The totem sits in the corner, as lifeless as any piece of wood. Yet its eyes seem deeper, darker. He laughs nervously. "I'm working too hard," he mutters. He climbs into bed and pulls the covers to his chin. Sleep does not come easily. Each time he drifts off, the dream returns. He is standing in a forest clearing at night. In front of him, half buried in the ground, is the same skull-topped totem. A circle of stones surrounds it like a grave. As he reaches out to touch it, hands, ghostly, bone-thin hands, shoot up from the ground and grab his wrists. A hollow voice whispers, "Carver." He wakes in a cold sweat. The workshop below is silent. He resolves to destroy the carving in the morning. But when he goes to the bench at dawn, he finds something impossible. The totem is no longer where he left it. It stands upright in the middle of the workshop floor, shavings scattered around it as if it moved itself. He swallows hard. "This is ridiculous," he whispers to the empty room. He grabs it by its base, intending to throw it into the fireplace. The wood feels ice cold. A sudden shock like static shoots up his arm. He drops it with a yelp. At the same instant, a low moan echoes through the workshop. The floor creaks as if under a great weight. Then, silence. He tells no one of what happened. That evening, he visits the local elder, an old woman known for her knowledge of ancient lore. He carries the totem wrapped in cloth. When she unwraps it, her face drains of color. "Where did you get this?" she hisses. He explains, shame coloring his words. She shakes her head. "These patterns are ancient. They were carved to bind a terrible spirit. You must return this form to the earth. Do not burn it. Do not keep it. Bury it deep and pray." She presses a small bag of herbs into his hand. "Scatter these as you bury it," she instructs, "and do not look back." He nods, the weight of his mistake finally dawning on him. That night, under a sky heavy with clouds, he sets out to the old forest on the edge of town. He carries the totem under his arm, the bag of herbs clutched in his free hand. Owls watch from the branches. Somewhere in the distance, a fox yips. He finds a spot where the earth is soft and begins to dig. With each shovel of dirt he throws aside, the wind picks up. Leaves spiral around him like spirits dancing. He lowers the totem into the pit. "Go back to your rest," he whispers. He scatters the herbs over it as the elder instructed. As he begins to cover it with dirt, a voice whispers from the hole, faint but clear. "You have carved my face and freed me," it says, its tone both grateful and venomous. "You buried my prison, but you cannot bury my curse." Panic seizes him.
He shovels dirt faster, breath coming in gasps. The whisper continues beneath the earth until the last of the totem is covered, then fades to silence. The wind dies abruptly. Crickets resume their song. He stands back, trembling, and whispers a prayer. Turning away, he walks quickly back toward town, resisting the urge to look over his shoulder. The elder's warning echoes in his mind. Do not look back. Days pass. Life seems to return to normal, almost. The nightmares cease, the whispers stop, but the woodcarver cannot shake the feeling that something unseen walks with him. He throws himself into other work, but his hands often drift toward the patterns of the cursed totem. He catches himself carving small, familiar swirls in the corners of other pieces. He forces himself to stop, heart pounding. At night, when the wind blows, he hears faint laughter among the trees, as if something is delighted by his fear. One evening, months later, a traveling merchant arrives with a crate of old trinkets. Among them is a small carved pendant, a miniature skull with the same intricate designs as the totem. The woodcarver's heart freezes. "Where did you get this?" he demands. The merchant shrugs. "Found it near the old forest, half buried in the dirt. Thought it was interesting." The woodcarver buys it at once and hides it away. That night, he goes back to the elder. She takes the pendant and drops it into a basin of salt water, watching as bubbles rise to the surface. "The spirit is restless," she murmurs. "You must not bring any piece of that pattern into your home. You must resist the urge to recreate it, no matter how strong the pull." He realizes with a chill that the curse is not only in the wood, it is in his mind. The patterns call to him. The designs want to be carved, to be seen, to give the imprisoned spirit form. The act of carving is the invitation. The elder gives him a final warning. If you cannot resist, if you carve even a line of that totem again, you will open the door fully. The spirit will walk free, and it will take something in exchange. Perhaps your hands, perhaps your life. He vows never to carve those patterns again.
Years pass. He grows older, his hands still deft but cautious. The skull totem legend fades in his town, dismissed as a tale to frighten children. Yet sometimes, when a storm rolls through and lightning strikes a tree in the forest, he thinks of the carved skull buried deep in the earth. He wonders if the spirit below stirs, waiting for another craftsman to make the same mistake. He warns his apprentices, "There are patterns you must never carve." They laugh, thinking him superstitious. He shakes his head. "One day, you will understand." And still, on some nights when the wind is right, a whisper floats on the air through the pines. "Carver, it is not over." Those who hear it quicken their steps and hurry home, never looking back. For the legend of the cursed totem endures, not because of the wood alone, but because of the lure of forbidden craft. Its patterns call to those who carve, promising mastery, but demanding a price. As long as there are hands to hold a chisel and minds curious enough to trace those lines, the story will continue, and the spirit will wait.